Welcome to 60 Days in the Aftermath. I'm Dan Abrams. The participants in Sheriff Knoll's program have not spoken or seen any footage since they were released from incarceration. Before we bring out the participants, we'll hear from the sheriff, Jamie Knoll, who was bold enough to allow this program to happen in the Clark County Jail. And we'll hear from his man on the ground, Captain Scotty Maples. So, Sheriff Knoll, I've got to ask you, why'd you let this happen in your jail?
This was an opportunity for me to get an unbiased feedback of what we can do to improve the facility.
Now that it's all said and done, did it pay off the way you'd hoped?
Yeah, I'm relieved that it went smoothly. There was no injuries, no one was hurt, but I learned a ton of stuff of how we can improve our operations, how contraband was getting into our jail.
And you learned this as a result of the program?
Yes, and where they were hiding it at. It was just invaluable.
How many of these people did you think were going to make it through the 60 days?
I didn't think anybody would.
You didn't think a single one of them would make it through 60 days?
I honestly didn't.
So when 5 of the 7 made it, you were both surprised?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
2 of our female participants, Tammy and Barbara, experienced jail together and were strongly impacted by their time inside. Let's bring them out.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Sit, please. So you guys have not seen each other or spoken since the program ended. How does it feel?
Oh my God, I'm like getting teary-eyed.
We had such a close relationship when we were in there. We were so close and open with each other, and I don't think it would have been doable without Tammy.
Tammy, tell me about the moment that you realized that Barbara was part of the program.
Having a career in police work, it didn't take very long to figure her out.
What was it about her?
Just the way she spoke and she carried herself, I knew probably within like the first couple of hours that she was probably a drop-in.
Of all the people in the program, you may have had the toughest journey.
I think for me, as a police officer, seeing so many things that you have to turn a blind eye to, that was really difficult for me.
This changed you?
It's very much changed me.
How?
I've made a huge change in my life. I've retired after 21 years on the job. I don't want to be putting those girls into that situation. I just feel like I can't do it.
So being behind bars led you to conclude, I can't be the person who puts them there anymore?
Nah, I can't do that.
Tammy and Barbara, you both knew that there were other participants in the program. Let's bring out one who you may recognize, Yasmin Brown.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. How are you guys?
So let's talk about the 3 of you. Seems Tammy's not even looking over here at some points. The 3 of you had some issues inside. Let's take a look at an argument that involved all of you.
They're gonna beat my ass if I'm not pregnant.
Everyone's yelling at her. I'm looking almost afraid for her. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what can I say to everybody at the side of my mouth to get them to stop attacking her?
Small yellow bus driver.
I would never say that. And I'm not even a social worker. Social worker my ass.
That's not cool. Your comment is not cool. Your comment is not cool.
Why are you starting stuff with me? I was just trying to calm the girl down. My brother had to take that bus. I get it. Trust me, I'm not against that girl.
She's condescending, and I'm sick of her.
Oh, Lord.
So Miriam, why did you make the comment?
Yeah, that's not what I was doing. And if you guys work with anybody I've ever worked with, all of my friends, it's not my brother had to take that bus, you know.
Why are you calling it take that bus? I mean, come on. We're
look,
talking about human beings
You know
here.
what, sweetheart?
Don't call me sweetheart.
You don't
okay?
know my
We're
life.
on a different level here.
Let me just say this. I was very concerned about the girl. People were yelling at her. People were calling, saying, I'm gonna whip your behind. No one walked up to them saying they were gonna whip her butt. She did have mental challenges.
Concerned about
so
her?
I was afraid to say mental illness. I misspoke, I agree, I apologize for that. My intention was to stop them from bashing her.
By bashing her.
It's a stressful environment in there. I was using that language to let them know, look, leave her alone. Just say something to get them to stop. That's fine that offended you. I'm sorry about that. If you don't want to take that apology, that's fine.
But you'd concede you didn't handle it the way you would have if you'd been able to.
You know, I handle it. I would say I misspoke the words, but I went up to her and tried to calm her down. Because they said she was pregnant. Everyone slips up and makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't to make fun of her. It really wasn't.
It seems that this is a broader issue, though, for you guys. It seems that this isn't just about that one statement, is it?
Well, for me, it's that she came into jail and she's this big talker. I'm a social worker.
How am I a big
kids.
talker?
It's my turn to talk, thank you.
How am I a big talker? I didn't talk that much at all.
Yes, does she not talk all the time about being a social worker?
It's
and
what
how
you
she communicates with people so well.
Proceeded to say to me and how I should treat her before that. Well, we shouldn't treat her like an animal.
No, we
She's
shouldn't.
a human being.
We shouldn't.
And then you turn around, and what did you say to her?
I didn't
that
say-
she's slow and she rides the yellow bus.
No.
So how is that any better?
That was not my intention, Tammy. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking up at them, trying to tell them, don't argue with this girl. Leave her alone.
Then you should have said
And you know what? I didn't say it. It's over. But you cannot judge my life and what I do in my profession.
For that girl. She does have a mental impairment. You might have really hurt her feelings. You don't think about anyone but yourself.
No, it's not true.
No, it is true.
That isn't true.
It is true.
I misspoke on that one thing. That was a stressful environment. You're making overall general statements.
I was in the same environment as you, and I never said anything like that.
Yeah, but it's over.
It might not be over for that girl. You might have hurt her feelings.
I'm not going to deal with stupidity.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it is stupidity.
No, you see, I'm not going to deal with this.
Tammy, why don't you join us again? Sit, please. It seems to me that the emotion is still so raw, but it's as if you all are still there. Now, Captain Maples, you're the sheriff's point person for the program. What do you make of the situation?
This is reality of jail. You know, you see this three-way fight here and drama. This is exactly how jail works. This argument, you not liking her, it's just unfortunate you guys didn't get along, but that's jail.
Next up, we'll hear from the men.
We're all good.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna cook.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Isaiah, how are you?
Good.
I'm here with Isaiah, one of the men from the program who witnessed the extremes of life in jail. From sex to violence, he saw it all. Was jail worse than you expected?
Yeah, it was worse than I expected. Because of, your daily routine and what you go through, the fights and, how drama starts.
You were actually unsure at one point about your ability to make it through the program. Let's take a look.
He's been here a week, and he hasn't seen a judge or anything. His time doesn't actually start until he signs his extradition paper, so he's just here illegally.
I really miss hot coffee and everything, though, too.
So you're feeling you don't think you're gonna make it?
Having second thoughts.
What were you thinking watching all this happen around you?
That they really fighting over something stupid. I think that whole fight escalated over tater tots. So it was just really dumb.
Isaiah, going in, you knew that there were other participants in the program, and we now want to bring out another one of them, Zach.
How you doing, sir? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Brother.
So,
How you doing, sir? Sir, how you doing?
So, Isaiah, did you know that Zach was in the program?
he was one of them. I had a hunch.
He was one of your suspects?
Yeah.
Zach, you had a hunch Isaiah was in the program as well.
At first, when I first met Isaiah, I didn't really have any clue. There was one day we were sitting talking, and he told me his backstory. And as soon as I heard his backstory, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, he's part of the show.
Zach, what made you want to get into the program in the first place?
I felt like this would be something that could definitely give me a leg up on other candidates for positions in law enforcement, because it gives me a perspective that people in law enforcement have ever seen it from the other side that I just saw it from.
You left your baby and your wife for 60 days.
Sure.
Was it worth it?
It was hard. I've never left my son before, but I've left my wife multiple times throughout my career with the military. So we've dealt with that separation before.
Now I'm going to introduce you both to someone else who you may recognize from the pod. It's someone who was there with you, who was also a victim of violence. Jeff, come on in.
Hi. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, do you guys remember Jeff?
I definitely remember him.
No.
No, I guess the orange jumpsuits may have made the difference.
Yeah, I definitely recognize
You remember?
him.
What do you remember?
Ricky punched him in the face.
Oh. I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
There was a guy who switched a bunk. The guy was right next to me. I was just talking to him, getting to know him. And all of a sudden, Ricky comes up and just slugs me twice in the face. I end up with a bloody nose. My glasses go flying. But I understand possibly Nash was taking his meds.
Zach, do you remember this moment?
Yeah, absolutely. We asked Ricky, why did he attack Jeff? And he was talking about, he was hearing voices coming out of the TV telling him that Jeff was a child molester. And he was absolutely trading his meds to Nash. And so if he had been on his medication, none of that would have ever happened. He was trading them for commissary goods or trays of food, and Nash was using them to get high with.
Why'd you decide to leave the program?
I felt like my life could be in danger. He said either the voices on the TV told him to do it or the TV told him to do it. And I didn't know if he had any weapons. So I felt like my life could be in danger, my safety was in danger. So I chose to leave the program.
Seems jail didn't suit you. Is that fair to say?
I'd do it again.
You only made it for 4 days. You went in with the dream of being a corrections officer. Mm-hmm. Still a goal?
Oh, yeah. I even though I was only in there for a few days.
Do you guys think he'd make a good corrections officer?
Personally, coming from my perspective, this is no affront to you. If I was on a call and you showed up as my backup, I'd call for other backup. And that's not an affront to you, but I would not trust my life in your hands.
Well, I respectfully disagree.
We're here with Robert, who is one of the most memorable participants in the program. Robert? Hey, Dan Abrams.
Dan. Mr. Robert.
That's it, please. Now, because of Robert's attitude during training, Tammy and Zach had their doubts about him completing the program. Now, I understand that you guys actually had a bet about Robert?
Yes, we did.
Which was?
I bet him to not last more than 3 weeks. Tammy gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Which was a generous 5 weeks.
And we're kind of excited to see how that played out.
Robert, how do you feel about the fact that they doubted you from the beginning?
I don't care if people doubt me. I could bale hay with the best of them, and there is not absolutely any quit in me. So anyone who questions my toughness, well, you're wrong.
Robert, Tammy and Zach don't know what happened to you. Why don't you give them a quick summary?
Yeah, I went to segregation. I was sick, and I was forced to drop out after 5 weeks. You in the bed.
So how did things, do you think, go for you with regard to other inmates? Because both Zach and Tammy were concerned about how you would get along with them.
Well, check out this handsome face, still intact. I knew there was a little tension there from some of those guys. I took off my jump suit and kind of tied it around my waist because I'm a pretty big guy. Because I thought that there's some guys out there that may want to fight me, and I use that just in case. It's kind of like, well, if they did want to fight me, at least it looks like I'm in shape.
Zach, any thoughts on Robert's behavior?
There are a lot of thoughts that I have.
Bring them on.
Probably not a whole lot that I can really say and maintain my composure. It's very obvious to me that Robert took no thought for anyone else. He didn't take any thought of a larger goal than anything but his own.
You're correct.
And the fact that he's proud of that says all that needs to be said about him and his personality. And as far as how the inmates felt about you in 3D, Robert, when I got moved over there, there was a lot of talk amongst the inmates about the crazy guy who'd put the towel over the camera and how They all thought he was weird, they thought he was crazy, and if he ever did come back, what they would have done to him.
Do you understand what it was like? Do you understand what I went through in there?
It's your choice.
I understand it was my choice going in, but I went in for a reason.
So did
okay? Yeah. To what? To sit there and laugh and joke and have a good time?
I
was
that everywhere
incarcerated, Robert.
So was
He
I.
was No, you weren't.
Well, what did I do for 5 weeks?
Okay, 5 weeks. You sat in segregation, which it's a
Very
ride.
pleasurable.
It's
You're
a
right,
ride. You know
it
what?
is.
I could have done, yeah, by yourself.
I like
Okay,
that.
I had a brutal experience. I fought my entire way through to make it through, to get out, to bring these gentlemen some positive feedback. That's what this is about. This is no laughing matter.
In the end, Robert, you did not stay in the program for 60 days. You opted out early. Let's take a look at what happened.
Sure.
Have a seat.
Yes, sir.
Robert, we've got what our perspective on segregation we need, but we need you to go back to another section.
Oh, you're gonna need this.
Finishing is so important to me.
I know it is, but your health is very important to us. That's what I think we need to be focused on right now.
This is the single most disappointing day of my entire life. I want to do this so bad.
Seems clear the captain didn't believe that it was a real illness.
Anyone who thinks I'm faking it, one, did they know how much medication I took? What type of medication I took? Make your judgment after you gather the information.
Robert's danced around many questions. When you ask him, he goes off on a tangent to try to lose face of what the question really was.
You know, of interest, Robert, in the exit, you said you had an undiagnosed illness, and now it was constipation. And when I talked to you in the exit interview, you were holding, said it was all right here. And then it moved in the video to it was back here. It just makes it really suspect, that's all.
Constipation is through here and it could be the back. This was a flank pain caused by severe strain, the doctor said. I eat healthy. Mr. Maple Syrup, you wouldn't understand, but whenever you change your diet, things happen.
Robert, nobody's been rude to you, so I don't think you should use the rude tones that you're using to the captain.
He's calling me out. He doesn't believe me. He's calling me a liar on that.
I'm sorry, but isn't there like X-Lax on commissary, if I'm not
Yes, there
mistaken?
is.
Yeah, there
Thank
is.
you very much.
I'm pretty sure that regardless of what we say, you're going to keep talking in circles, so.
Exactly.
Right.
There is all kinds of inconsistencies in his story. I particularly don't feel like arguing with him about it. We didn't receive any valuable information from Robert. I would like to add the fact that I would like to apologize to Zach and Tammy because you guys took this serious, and this is no reflection of what we think of what you did for us. And don't think that he's in the same boat as you guys. He spent 3 overnights in jail.
It's appreciated.
Before he went to segregation, so I want to say thank you to both of you.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a slap in your face. It's a slap in your face.
For the first time, all 7 participants are in the same room. I gotta ask you guys, did any of you have any idea how many people were involved in this program?
No idea.
Jeff?
I figured that there was going to be 2 or 3. I certainly didn't think it was going to be 7. Holy cow.
Were any of you sad to leave?
I actually was sad to leave the facility, and not necessarily just because of any friendships or personal relationships I had developed while I was inside, but because I felt like I was able to be a positive influence on some of the inmates in my pod.
I felt bad for my bunkies a lot. They're good women, you know, I learned their stories, and actually Jamie emailed me after she got out last week. Said, I'm out, you know, and I would love to keep in touch with her.
You were sad?
I was happy to leave. I was happy to leave, but I was sad for my bunkies and everybody else in there that really wanted to get out.
Now that it's over, how important was this program to you all from a law enforcement perspective?
Well, we got information that's just invaluable. It's going to improve the facility. It's going to influence a lot of different lives. What you've done to help improve the department and the Clark County Sheriff's Office and the jail and the lives that it's touched, I mean, it's just invaluable. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.